Welcome to the presentation of the North Grace Street Roadway Resurfacing Project. The Public Works Department is pleased to share information on this significant project that enhances accessibility, roadway quality, and the overall right-of-way. This project is possible through the direction and support of Village Leadership, Village President, Anthony Puccio, Village Clerk, Rania El-Khatib, Trustees, Brian Levac District 1, Jesse Hammersmith District 2, Bernie Dudek District 3, Patrick Egan District 4, Dan Militello District 5, Bob Bachner District 6 and Village Manager, Scott Niehaus. This presentation will review the design and construction process regarding the proposed improvements on North Grace Street, from East St. Charles Road to North Avenue. The project is located in District 4 and is represented by Trustee Patrick Egan. The consulting engineering firm Baxter & Woodman was retained by the Village of Lombard to design the North Grace Street Roadway Resurfacing Project. Mr. Josh Harris served as the project manager for Baxter & Woodman. This segment of the presentation will provide an overview of the project and highlight the key design elements. The North Grace Street project limits extend from East St. Charles Road, at the railroad tracks, to the North Avenue right-of-way. This segment of the presentation will provide an overview of the project and highlight the key design elements. Phase 1 and Phase 2 include preliminary and final design engineering. These phases address all technical, safety, and environmental standards, and also include geotechnical engineering and environmental services. All Phase 1 and 2 engineering services were fully funded by the village at a total cost of $302,645. Phase 3 covers the physical construction of the project. Funding for this phase will be shared between the federal government and the village, with a 60% federal and 40% village cost split. The engineer's opinion of probable construction cost is $2,259,395. Construction engineering services, which include inspection and project oversight, are fully funded by the village at a cost of $303,487.95. These services ensure that the construction is completed in accordance with all approved design plans and specifications. As a precursor to the roadway and multimodal improvements, the underground water and sewer utility system was addressed in 2023. Preliminary design engineering and environmental engineering were completed in early 2025, followed by final design engineering, which was completed in early 2026. This year's work focuses on roadway resurfacing and multimodal enhancements. Construction is anticipated to begin in early summer 2026 and continue through early fall 2026. Phase 1 included preliminary design, environmental documentation, and public involvement. Design alternatives consistent with Illinois Department of Transportation (IDOT) standards were presented to the Public Works and Public Safety Committees in August 2024. A public information meeting was held on January 16, 2025, at Lombard Village Hall. The meeting provided an opportunity for residents and stakeholders to review and offer input regarding the recommended design for the North Grace Street project. Final design approval was received from IDOT in October 2025. Following approval from the Illinois Department of Transportation, IDOT, Baxter & Woodman proceeded with Phase 2 of the project. Phase 2 encompasses the final design process, including the preparation of detailed plans, specifications, and cost estimates. The project bid opening is scheduled for April 24, 2026. Construction is anticipated to begin in June 2026. The project includes storm sewer improvements, sidewalk and ADA upgrades, pavement resurfacing and patching, updated pavement markings, multimodal bicycle accommodations. Let's review each category in greater detail. Storm sewer repairs will be completed where deficiencies have been identified through closed-circuit televising (CCTV) of the storm sewer system. To enhance drainage, additional inlets will be installed near North Avenue. Necessary curb and gutter repairs will also be performed as part of the project. Sidewalks have been evaluated for ADA compliance and potential trip hazards. Sidewalk squares with elevation differences of 1¼ inches or greater will be replaced in accordance with village policy. Severely deteriorated sidewalk squares will also be addressed. Sidewalk conditions will be re-evaluated during construction to identify any changes that may have occurred since the initial evaluation was performed. Regarding the pavement, identified failing sections of asphalt will be patched as needed. The roadway will then be milled and resurfaced. Following resurfacing, the street will be restriped to include a southbound bike lane on the east side of North Grace Street from East Prairie Street to Sunset Avenue, along with crosswalks and designated parking areas on the west side of the street. Overall, parking locations will not change. However, minor adjustments near intersections will be made to improve safety for pedestrians and for vehicles making turning movements. Multimodal enhancements include ADA ramp upgrades to improve accessibility and ensure compliance with the requirements of the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. Existing curb ramps will be evaluated and reconstructed where necessary to provide proper slopes, detectable warning surfaces, and safe connections between sidewalks and crosswalks. Crosswalk improvements designed to increase pedestrian visibility and safety. These improvements may include refreshed pavement markings and enhanced crosswalk layouts at key intersections along the corridor. Bicycle accommodations consistent with the village's bike plan, including the addition of a designated bike lane along portions of the roadway. These improvements are intended to provide a safer and more comfortable environment for cyclists while promoting alternative transportation options within the community. These multimodal elements were reviewed as part of the federal funding process, which required an evaluation of potential design alternatives and consideration of public input. The process included an alternatives analysis to identify the most appropriate design approach for the corridor, as well as opportunities for public comment during the project development phase. Feedback received from residents and stakeholders helped inform the final recommended improvements. The roadway will be restriped to provide dedicated bicycle facilities for safer and more accessible cycling along North Grace Street. A southbound on-street bike lane will be striped from Sunset Avenue to East Prairie Street, providing a continuous and clearly marked path for cyclists traveling in that direction. The northbound on-street bike lane segment will be signed on North Lombard Avenue from East Prairie Avenue to Sunset Avenue. Additionally, an off-street shared-use path will be constructed on the west side of North Grace Street in two segments, from East Prairie Street to East St. Charles Road. From Sunset Avenue to the northern property line of Lombard Lagoon. This shared-use path will accommodate both pedestrians and bicyclists, enhancing multimodal connectivity, improving safety, and encouraging active transportation throughout the corridor. Having reviewed the key design elements of the North Grace Street Roadway Improvements Project, the next portion of the presentation will focus on what residents and motorists can expect during construction. This includes the anticipated sequence of work, as well as potential impacts to roadway access, pedestrian routes, and local services. Clear communication of these details is intended to help residents plan ahead regarding any disruptions throughout the construction period. Ray Schwab is a civil engineer with the Village of Lombard Public Works Department. He will serve as the project manager for the North Grace Street resurfacing project. Matt Champine of the Thomas Engineering Group will be the on-site resident project representative during construction. If you have questions or immediate concerns, he will be your primary contact. Bids for the project are due on April 24 and will be opened by the Illinois Department of Transportation, IDOT. If IDOT accepts the apparent low bidder, the contract is expected to be presented to the Lombard Village Board of Trustees on May 7. Approximately 3 weeks after the award, the village, IDOT, and the selected contractor will hold a pre-construction meeting. At this meeting, a notice to proceed will be issued, and an approximate project start date will be established. Assuming all contracts, bonds, and insurance requirements are in place, and any coordination issues with natural gas, electric, and telecommunications services are resolved, construction is expected to begin in June and be completed by October. The sequence of construction is expected to initially establish traffic control at the limits of the job. Erosion control measures will be put in place, and trees scheduled for removal will be marked. Then underground utilities will be identified. Once that is complete, storm sewer work will proceed, followed by the milling of the street. Sidewalk and curb and gutter repairs should be next. Affected driveway aprons will be removed, and temporary mailboxes will be installed for properties impacted by the installation of the concrete portion of the bike path. Driveway aprons and mailboxes will be then restored, followed by tree planting and reseeding of the disturbed areas within the parkway. The final surface layer of asphalt will be then paved, followed by roadway striping. The contractor retains discretion over construction methods, subject to the village's requirements for access. Residents will be kept informed about the actual construction schedule through newsletters and Notify Me updates. Households within the construction area will receive an initial newsletter outlining what to expect during construction and instructions on how to sign up for Notify Me. During construction, the village will communicate with residents through a series of newsletters and notices. Newsletters will provide updates on project progress and highlight any items residents should be aware of. These newsletters will be mailed every 4 to 5 weeks. Additional notices will be hand-delivered prior to activities that may disrupt driveway access, water or sewer service, or in the event of unforeseen circumstances that result in changes to services. The newsletter displayed here is a sample of the communications that will be periodically mailed to residents' homes throughout the duration of the project. These newsletters will provide updates on construction progress, upcoming work, and any planned impacts to services. The sample notice displayed here is an example of what will be hand-delivered to residents' front doors. These notices will provide important information about upcoming events that may temporarily affect services, such as changes to garbage pickup, general access, or driveway access due to roadway or utility construction. The goal is to ensure residents are fully informed in advance so they can plan accordingly and minimize disruptions. Another form of notice is advance door hangers, which inform residents of pending driveway access restrictions and any water or sewer service disruptions. Water service is typically only disrupted when a service line must be temporarily shut off, which should occur only under unforeseen circumstances. In such cases, the on-site project representative will contact the affected household to provide an estimated duration of the disruption. As a precaution, residents are advised to keep a gallon of water in their refrigerator. Driveway access may be limited during working hours. Under normal circumstances, residents will still be able to access their driveways in the evening. Temporary overnight driveway restrictions will apply only to households directly affected by the installation of the concrete portion of the bike path, or whose driveway apron, curb or sidewalk is being replaced. The village also offers a digital communication tool called Notify Me. Before construction begins, the village will send instructions on how to sign up for Notify Me. Residents may also visit the village website and register for the service at any time prior to receiving the mailed instructions. Notify Me is an email-based service that delivers timely updates about specific projects or events directly to subscribers. Residents should be familiar with this system, as it was previously used during the underground utility project in 2023. Work hours are typically 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Under certain unforeseen events, residents may need parking passes for overnight parking. This may occur when the contractor is placing curb and gutter, repairing storm sewers, milling or paving the roadway, or during striping operations. Residents whose concrete driveway aprons are being replaced will need parking permits while the concrete cures to a strength capable of supporting vehicle weight without causing long-term damage from premature loading. The village will mail 2 passes per household. Residents may park overnight outside of the work zone. If additional passes are needed, contact Public Works, and extra permits will be provided. Please display the passes, as the police department will be monitoring overnight parking areas. Park only in areas where parking is normally permitted. Trees scheduled for removal and replacement have been carefully identified by the village forester and will be marked with a white X to ensure clarity for construction crews and residents. This marking system helps prevent accidental removal of trees that are to be preserved and ensures that the construction process is sensitive to the existing tree canopy. Replacement trees will be planted near the end of the project. The specific species of replacement trees are detailed in the project plans, and selection has been made to ensure that the new trees are well suited to the local environment. All planting will occur under the direction of village forestry staff, who will ensure proper spacing, alignment, and soil preparation, and avoid conflicts with overhead power lines, underground utilities, and other infrastructure. Underground utility work will be limited to the replacement of select storm sewer pipes that have been identified as being in substandard condition. These replacements are targeted to address areas where pipes are deteriorated or damaged. In addition, storm sewer improvements will be installed near the intersection of North Avenue and North Grace Street. That segment of the storm sewer system was mandated by the Illinois Department of Transportation, IDOT, as part of the plan review and approval process. The upgrades ensure that the roadway complies with IDOT requirements for drainage. Paving operations will be completed in 3 separate steps to ensure a durable and long-lasting roadway surface. Removal of existing asphalt. The first operation will remove approximately 2.5 inches of the existing asphalt, preparing the road surface for the new pavement layers. This step ensures that deteriorated or substandard material is replaced. Binder course placement. The second operation involves placing a 3/4 inch thick layer of asphalt, known as the binder course. This layer provides structural strength and serves as a stable base for the final surface layer. Surface course placement. The final paving operation will place a 2-inch thick surface course, creating the smooth, final driving surface for motorists and bicyclists. The new pavement will also incorporate an improved cross slope, designed to enhance roadway drainage and reduce water accumulation on the surface. These improvements will contribute to an extended lifespan of the pavement. Sidewalk squares designated for replacement include those that do not meet ADA requirements, as well as those identified under village policy as deteriorated or presenting trip hazards. This ensures that the pedestrian network remains safe, accessible, and compliant with federal and local standards. For residents wishing to replace sidewalk squares that do not qualify under the standard replacement policy, a 50-50 cost-sharing option will be available. Under this program, the resident pays 50% of the removal and replacement cost, while the village covers the remaining 50%. The on-site project representative can assist residents by providing an estimate for the requested work. Detailed information regarding per square foot costs and participation deadlines will be communicated through the village newsletters and the Notify Me digital communication system, ensuring residents have an opportunity to participate and plan accordingly. Currently, driveway aprons from Sunset Avenue to Lemoyne Avenue will be replaced to accommodate the widening of the sidewalk for the new bike path. Each apron will be replaced using the same material currently in place to maintain a consistent appearance along the corridor. Additional driveway aprons may also be replaced if they are impacted by storm sewer, sidewalk, or curb and gutter work. All aprons currently identified for replacement are concrete. For residents wishing to replace a driveway apron not affected by construction, the on-site project representative can provide a quote equal to the cost incurred by the village. This allows residents the option to proactively upgrade their driveway while the contractor is on site. Please note that the contractor is not obligated to perform work on private property. If work on private property is undertaken, a permit must be secured. The Village Public Works Department can assist residents with the permitting process to ensure compliance and smooth coordination. As part of the project, parking on the east side of North Grace Street will be clearly marked, including areas near the intersections of cross streets. These markings are designed to improve visibility for both vehicle turning movements and pedestrians, enhancing safety at key intersections. These areas are known as sight triangles. A sight triangle is a clear corner area at road intersections that must remain free of obstructions so drivers, bicyclists, and pedestrians can see approaching traffic and avoid accidents. Maintaining proper sight triangles is an important safety feature, particularly at intersections with high vehicle and pedestrian activity. On the west side of North Grace Street, the new bike lane will also be marked, running from Sunset Avenue to East Prairie Street. The markings will provide a clear, designated path for cyclists, helping to improve safety, connectivity, and multimodal accessibility along the corridor. This concludes the presentation. If you have any questions or need additional information, please contact Lombard Public Works at 630-620-5740 or via email at publicworks@villageoflombard.org. Thank you for your attention and for taking the time to learn about the North Grace Street Roadway Improvements Project.